All right, so with the news out of the way, let's head into the final two topics of the show today, and let's kick it off with our final predictions for the PlayStation Showcase that is supposedly, allegedly going to happen the week of May 25th. We'll see if that actually does take place or not, but gonna go ahead and kind of we're in that showcase season. You know, we're in that season where the showcases are imminent. All of them are popping up very soon here. So we'll do our final, and I already did the PlayStation predictions, episode 4, I think, of the show. You can find like more in-depth, kind of just more of an examination of the first party studios, the third party relationships, shit like that. It was like a 40-minute deep dive. So this, I'm going to try to make it pretty quick, go through these and give like my final lock it in predictions. And so I looked at the 2021 showcase for PlayStation, and which was their last like real showcase, and there were 18 games, I believe, revealed at that showcase. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to try to predict 18 games that we see at this May, end of May, early June showcase from PlayStation. So let's go ahead and lock these in. Now, I'm not going to get too wishful here. I'm not going to get too cute. I actually don't think this showcase is really going to be one that is overly I think it's going to be more about just establishing a legitimate pipeline and letting you know like what is on the horizon, what is imminent in the PlayStation ecosystem within first party and third party, exclusive titles. I think that's going to be a lot more what this showcase is about than giving you the big Knights of the Old Republic remake shocking announcement and the big Wolverine shocking announcement. Like, I don't really think that's what this showcase is going to be. I would love to be proven wrong because I'm 100% on board for those big holy shit moments. I think those are way more exciting than just lining up the phase 2 or whatever you want to call it. But regardless, I think we're in for a pretty solid showcase nonetheless. So let's go ahead and kick off my list here. Started off with obvious ones, The Last of Us factions. I do think we're 100% going to see The Last of Us factions revealed at this showcase. I think we'll get a real look at gameplay here, and I think we'll get a release date. A lot of people are hoping for that 2023 date on factions. I don't think we're getting a 2023 date on factions. I'm going to say Q1 2024 is the release date that we're going to be given at this showcase for factions 2. Next up, of course, we're going to get Spider-Man 2. We're going to get a good look at gameplay. We're going to get a release date. I think that's just a given with the Venom voice actor leaking that it was supposed to come out in September. Who knows if that ends up being true? I would suspect it probably will be the case. Spider-Man 2 with a release date given for September. I think that's a fairly safe lock there, but I could maybe see it slipping into that November, December territory. But if I had to predict a specific release date, I think you just have to take the voice actor. Was it Tony Todd for Venom? You probably have to take him at his word and say it's likely going to be a September release date that we see at this showcase, along with some chunky, solid gameplay. Rise of the Ronin. I debated hardcore. Is it going to be Ghost of Tsushima here, or is it going to be Rise of the Ronin? I don't think you put both of those in the same showcase, just because one's definitely going to overshadow the other. I'm going to say Rise of the Ronin is what we get here. We saw a little bit of gameplay the last look that we had, or the reveal trailer that we had of Rise of the Ronin. We actually saw a little bit of gameplay, so I'm thinking that's probably fairly far along in development. I think they gave a 2024 release date the last time that we saw it. So if that's the case, we're probably going to line that up, get a locked in date for Rise of the Ronin. Team Ninja game, supposedly going to be their attempt at a real big breakout hit here with Rise of the Ronin. So I think we will see that pop up. I'm saying no Ghost of Tsushima 2 reveal. That might come back to bite me in the ass. I would love to see it, but I'm saying Rise of the Ronin we see here. Ghost of Tsushima, I think that's a big kind of next year style showcase to, save it, stay conservative. If you need to keep Ghost of Tsushima in the waiting behind the fucking curtain for next year for a big reveal, then I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because I think the showcase we're going to get is going to be real damn solid regardless if we see Tsushima 2 or not. Next up, Pacific Drive. We need a release date for Pacific Drive. I think we will get that. I'm going to say October 2023 for Pacific Drive. Line it up great there with a nice Spooktober release date with its creepy fucking road hazards. You're taking your Volkswagen, customizing it in this weird ass world that's trying to kill you. Looks fun as shit. Can't wait to play it. And I think we will get a date for Pacific Drive for October 2023. Project Eve, or fucking Stellar Blade. They renamed it to Stellar Blade. I think we're absolutely seeing Stellar Blade with its date. It was supposed to come out in 2023. I could see that maybe slipping to 2024, but once again, we have seen quite a bit of this game. We've seen some really, really chunky, solid looks at gameplay already. So I think we do have our official locked in date. I'm going to say holiday 2023 on this one as well. But once again, would not at all be surprised to see it slip to early 2024. Next up, Silent Hill 2, the remake from Bloober. This is absolutely, you would have to expect this is going to pop up. The president, I believe, of Bloober said that it was kind of in its like final stages of development. Then Bloober retracted some of that shit. Was like, hey, no, that's not exactly 1000% correct. We still got a little bit of work to do. So I'm going to say a 2024 date is given for Silent Hill 2, the remake. And I'm just going to say a window. Like, it's just going to say 2024 at the end of the trailer. I don't think we're going to get a specific date for Silent Hill 2, and I don't think we're going to get a 2023 date like I was expecting earlier whenever the president was going off with his fucking sticking his chest out saying, yeah, we're right near the end of fucking development for this thing. It seems like that might not be the case. So I'm going to say a 2024 window is given at the end of a good gameplay trailer for Silent Hill 2, the remake. And staying right there in the Konami world, Metal Gear Solid 3, that's the rumor. I think that's a huge mistake going with MGS3 opposed to MGS1 for the first remake. But I'm guessing it's Blue Point as the developer here, and I'm just taking the leakers at their word that it's going to be MGS3 over MGS1. A part of me wants to just go off on a limb and say we get Metal Gear Solid 1 first, and then 2 and 3 the way it probably should be. But I'm gonna take them at their word. I'm gonna say we get an MGS3 cinematic reveal from Blue Point, no release date attached to it, pretty much nothing at all other than just a reveal to let you know Metal Gear Solid 3 is in the works and it's coming to you from Bloober. Next up, once again in the third-party exclusive sphere here, I'm thinking we're gonna get FF16 and FF7, both Final Fantasy 16 coming out in June. Obviously that's going to get one of its like final trailers at this showcase, but I think we're also going to get Final Fantasy VII Rebirth as like a final announcement for the showcase. Well, no, Metal Gear Solid 3 will be the final announcement for the showcase if it does pop up, but FF7 Rebirth, a real look at gameplay with them saying that they were trying to hit winter. I believe what did the last trailer said, like it'll be available next winter or some shit like that. So if it's going to try to be, a December 2023 or a January, February 2024 game, it's about time that the marketing should start ramping up for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Would I be surprised to see it delayed? No, but I just feel like I think we'll get both of them here at this show. Maybe not, because one may overshadow the other, but I just have a hard time seeing this game launching winter 2023 or early 2024 and not beginning the marketing campaign like ASAP. So I'm going to say both FF16 and FF7. And then obviously we got to head to the area, the area of PlayStation's new initiative that most of us probably aren't on board for, but we know it's coming. It's coming down the pike, regardless of how we feel about it. We're going to get some live service games announced here. I'm thinking probably 3 or 4 live service games announced at this showcase. I was thinking the Deviation, the Deviation first-person shooter. That was kind of like the first one that came to mind when I was making this list, but there were massive layoffs recently at that studio, and the rumor of like this sci-fi first-person shooter being shut down. I have no idea if those two, like, I don't know if the first-person sci-fi shooter that was shut down is Deviation's game, or if this is totally two separate things. I hadn't really looked into it all that much, if I'm being honest, but my gut just tells me that not to predict that we see this Deviation game. So I'm gonna avoid that. I'm gonna avoid the Deviation game. I do think we could still potentially see it pop up, but I'm gonna throw out a wild one here for my first live service game that we see at this showcase. I think Asobi is going to give us a live service game. The team that makes the Astro games. When I think of like these party style, Smash style, or just like these live service multiplayer party games, I feel like Asobi is a studio that could absolutely knock that out of the park. Once again, I wouldn't be surprised if Asobi's new game is just another Astro VR style title. But when I think of like a, PlayStation All-Stars-esque game, I feel like Asobi, if they really staffed up, could make something like that and make it pretty damn cool. A Fusion Frenzy-esque title or something like that. I feel like Asobi could definitely do that. Like I said, would not be surprised if it's just another Astro game that's in VR, or just another like PlayStation 5 Astro game. But I'm going to go off on a limb here. This is probably my wilder prediction of the showcase, as I'm trying to kind of stay safe here and lock in as many as possible to see what I can get right. But I'm going to say Asobi announces a live service title. That's my first of the live service predictions there. And after that, still looking at 3 or 4 games here, I'm going to say this one I think is probably a bad choice. And as soon as I wrote it down, I was like, I don't know if I'm right here. I'm going to go Twisted Metal. We just got the first like teaser look at the TV show that's coming to Peacock. So you would think they would want to have some synergy there and announce the game alongside it. Maybe, obviously it would come much later than the show, but having it still somewhat attached to it with the reveals being next to each other. I don't know. I think that one might... out of all of these, I feel like that is probably the one I'm most likely to get wrong, of course, along with the Asobi. Just the live service games in general. I feel like that's where most of my lack of knowledge really comes into play, because I just don't follow these teams and what the hell they're working on. As soon as it's announced that it's a live service game, I kind of just check out. But we know they're going to come, so I'm trying to nail in a couple of those predictions there. I'm going to go the Sony London game, and I think I'm also going to go the Haven game, the Jade Raymond's studio. So that would be what, 5 live service titles that we have so far, with Twisted Metal, Haven, London Studio, Asobi, and Last of Us Faction. So a very live service heavy show, but I think unfortunately we all know that that's a very strong likelihood. Once again, I could be way off on the games that are announced, but I think that we definitely should prepare ourselves for a very live service heavy, live service oriented show. So yeah, getting back to some like third party announcements here. Slitterhead, the creator for Silent Hill, the creator of Silent Hill. We haven't seen that game in a long ass time, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the first time it was revealed was at a PlayStation showcase. So I think it's about time we see Slitterhead pop back up onto the scene. You got Silent Hill 2 exclusive to PS5. Might as well lock in fucking Slitterhead 2. Staying in the horror realm, Fort Solace, the game with Roger Clark, the dude who played Arthur Morgan, and Troy Baker, the dude who played Joel from The Last of Us. Their horror game that's coming from the indie team that supposedly, as far as I'm aware, this is going to be exclusive to PS5 and PC. Looks real solid from a graphical perspective. We haven't seen anything at all on what the fuck the game is actually going to be in terms of the moment-to-moment gameplay. So I think that would be a very necessary reveal here to let people know what they're actually going to play. Especially when this thing is it's still saying that it's supposed to release this year. So would be kind of nice to know what we're actually going to be playing when we pick Fort Solace up. So yeah, I'm gonna lock that one in as one of our third party titles here. And we talked about this a second ago, but Mortal Kombat. You know, the Mortal Kombat 12, Mortal Kombat 1, whatever the fuck they end up calling it. This has been getting teased for a while. I think this is either going to be a Summer Games Fest announcement or a PlayStation Showcase announcement, and we'll go ahead and lock it in for a PlayStation Showcase announcement here. Baldur's Gate 3. Go ahead and capitalize on the fact that this is not coming to Xbox day and date, with you know the issues with the Series S and all that. It's not an exclusive. It's not like a signed deal exclusive. It will eventually come to Xbox, but you might as well capitalize on the fact that it's only coming to your platform for the time being. Well, in the console space, coming to your platform, and then obviously PC. But might as well say, hey, look, it's a console exclusive for the time being. Go and pick up Baldur's Gate 3 on the PS5. Just that one kind of fell into your lap there. So I say take the win when you can get it. I really think Baldur's Gate 3 might be like a fucking humongous game. And I know that 1 and 2 were sold decently well, a couple million copies apiece, but I think this could be like a 5 to 10 million fucking unit pusher. I really think this game could be massive, because I imagine that the feedback and the reviews are going to be glowing for this thing. So the fact that you have it exclusive to your console just, you know, because of the Series S, go ahead and fucking take advantage of that shit. But my final prediction that I'm going to go with, the 18th and final prediction for my list here, I got to go with the heart. And I'm going with Little Devil Inside. That's, I think, one of the most ambitious, interesting looking indie games that I'd ever seen in my life. And I'm so bummed out that it's been so long since we've seen this thing. And I feel like there was just a lot of gameplay shown off that I don't know what could have went wrong. They seem to be fairly far along in development with this thing, with a bunch of interesting ideas. And I don't know. I really just hope we end up seeing that come back at some point. So that's my one heart pick for the list. All the other picks there, I feel like I went fairly safe on. This is one that I got to go with the heart. I'm going Little Devil Inside for my 18th pick. And we don't really have any indie games on this list other than Pacific Drive. So throwing another one out there for the indies, Little Devil Inside, my 18th and final prediction. So let's go through the full list here. We have the 18 games are Last of Us Faction, Spider-Man 2, Rise of the Ronin, Pacific Drive, Project Eve, Silent Hill 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, Final Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy 7, Asobi's live service game, the London Studios new game, Haven's game, Twisted Metal, Slitterhead, Fort Solace, Mortal Kombat 12 or Mortal Kombat 1, however they end up doing that, Baldur's Gate 3, and Little Devil Inside. And like I said, I think you save the Tsushima 2s, I think you save the Wolverines for next year's showcase, to just go ahead and have a solid showcase planned out for 2024 with a bunch of games that'll be releasing that year and the following year. And then, you know, obviously like the rumored Castlevania game that they have the exclusive rights for there with Konami, which we have no idea if that's a legitimate thing or not, but seems like it could be with Metal Gear Solid, the rumors of that being exclusive. We know Silent Hill 2 is exclusive, and if they grab Castlevania as well, you have that sitting there waiting behind the fucking curtain for 2024. Tsushima waiting behind the curtain, Wolverine waiting behind the curtain. Yeah, you got a lot of shit ready to go for next year's showcase. And then with this year's showcase, some pretty big shocking announcements. Metal Gear Solid 3, if we got to look at Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth gameplay, that would be shocking. And then just filling in the kind of pipeline there with Factions and Spider-Man 2 and Rise of the Ronin and Silent Hill 2 and like the big titles. A Twisted Metal reveal, that's a big title to pop up that people have a lot of built-in nostalgia for. So I think we could be on the precipice of a really big, solid showcase that, while it might not be as exciting as seeing KOTOR pop up, the remake of KOTOR pop up, and the fucking Wolverine game by Insomniac might not be exciting on that level, I think this is still a damn good showcase that we're on the cusp of here. So those are my final 18 predictions there.